Alright guys, welcome back. We are on our second class for year 4. Now remember, this paper is supposed to be 2 classes, so you don't have to do it all in one day. You can do the activities in 2 days, okay? So today is year 4, sheet number 3. It's Wednesday, March 25th, 2010, and we're going to start with this.
Now this is the example from the video from last week. So when you are on the video, you want to go down to the description of the video, and in the bottom you're going to see that line that is in blue. You can download the paper there, or you can print it,
or you can just copy it, open it on your computer and copy it in your notebook.
Alright, so we start with the activities just as last week. The words are here. I'm going to read them and then I'm going to explain them. So the word this week are on the first column: mask, they, raise, ramp. On the second column: track, batch, 8, crane. On the third column: stamp, chance, wrapped, flame. On the fourth column: stage, graph, safety, magical. And finally, on the fifth and last column: grade, traded, laughed, station.
Okay, so the words on the first line are mask. Mask is something you put in your face for carnival, or when you dress up with a costume. Maybe you have a Spider-Man mask or a monster mask, okay? Make sure that you write it with a K, not a C, all right? The second word is they. Make sure you make that sound like that. They, all right? As the third person plural. The next word is raise. Now raise is when you put something up, okay? For example, you put your hand up, you raise your hand. You can raise your voice and speak louder, not to confuse with rise. Raise, rise, okay? Rise is when something goes up but nobody makes it go up, okay? For example, the sun rises. The sun rises. Something rises but nobody makes it rise, okay? When you raise something, you make something go up. You raise your hand, you raise your voice. And finally, a ramp is an inclination of the terrain when you're going up or down and it's inclined. We call that a ramp or cuesta. Okay, column number 2, we have the words track. Now track means, among other things, it's the place where we run a race. So when we have a running competition, we run on the track. As you can see, we have 2 runners on different lanes, okay, what we call calles. It's called lanes, okay, and all the lanes together are the track. It's la pista. And also, when we have a list of songs, a track list, okay, each one of those songs is a track, okay? Or if you have an album or a disc, all the songs, all the different songs in the disc, in the album, are tracks, okay? You have the title of some of the tracks we have sung in class. One Day, Blowing in the Wind, Space Oddity, all those are songs, all those are tracks in an album, okay? Then we have batch. Batch is a word that refers to a group of things, and it's normally used when we talk about cookies, okay? So when you cook cookies, which is the name in the United States, as opposed to biscuits in the UK, when we make dough, we put together a lot of ingredients to make cookies, and then we put them in the oven. All the cookies that we get in one go is one batch, okay? Then we have number 8, very careful with the spelling, E-I-G-H-T, that would be number 8. And finally we have crane. Crane is a vehicle, is a machine that we use to lift things up and down, okay, to transport things when we have to elevate them. That is a crane. All right, we continue with column number 3. The first word is stamp, okay? Stamp, when you want to send a letter to someone, you write your letter, you put it in an envelope, you close the envelope, and then you have to put a stamp to send it. It costs maybe €1. And also a stamp is when you get a seal, un sello, and then you stamp something. You can stamp a paper, okay? Make it official, all right? Chance. Chance is a synonym. It means the same as opportunity, okay? And there is a couple of very common expressions that we use. By chance. I found my book by chance. De casualidad, it's what it means. And then no chance, maybe you ask your parents, can we go to a restaurant to have dinner after school tonight, for example, on a weekday, on a Tuesday? And your parents are probably going to say, not a chance or no chance, okay? De ninguna manera. So the next word is wrapped, okay? Now wrapped, as with any word in English that starts with a W and R, like right, we don't say the W, okay? We start saying the R sound, okay? So wrapped is when you take something like a paper or maybe a bandage, or it could be aluminum foil, anything, right? And you wrap something. You wrap the paper around it. So if you cut yourself, you wrap some paper around your finger to stop bleeding, to stop blood flowing out of your body, okay? Not to be confused with rap, which is a style of music. It sounds exactly the same, but in the past, so the rappers rapped their most famous song. There's no W, but because the W is silent here, we say it the same way if we said it in the past, because rap is a verb in the past. When we add the ed, we have to double the p, just like in rap. So the rapper rapped his most famous or his most popular song, okay? But rap and wrapped is when you wrap something. You can wrap your sandwich in aluminum foil, or you can put a bandage around your finger because you cut yourself. You wrap your finger, okay? And then we have flame. Flame is when we have a fire, we can see the flames of the fire. All right, in column number 4, we have the word stage. Now, stage means a number of things. One of them is when you go to a concert or to a theater, you're the audience. All these people are the audience. They're watching the play or the concert in the stage. So the band, the musicians, or the actors act on the stage, okay? But also, stage is one of the parts in a process, okay? So when you have to do something that you have to do in order in different steps, each one of those steps is a stage in the process, okay? Then we have graph, okay? Graph is when you show data, information in a visual way, okay? So I made a picture of a bar graph and I made a picture of a line graph, okay? But there is many more different types of graphs, okay? Safety. Now, when you want to be safe, when you don't want to have an accident, you need to act with safety. You need to follow safety rules or instructions. For example, right now, we want to act with safety. We want to follow safety guidelines, things that are going to keep us safe. For example, washing your hands frequently, okay? And finally, the last word is magical. Okay, magical is an adjective. Okay, so if you like magic, you practice magic, then you are a magician, is the person that does magic tricks. Okay, so magical will always have a noun after it. So it's a magical night, it's a magical performance, it's a magical thing. All right. So we go now to the last column, column number 5, and the first word is grade. Now, grade means a number of things. First is the school year that you are in. So, for example, you guys are in 4th grade or year 4. 4th grade is the way they say it in the United States. Year 4 is how they say it in the UK, in Great Britain. But it also means mark. It's a synonym for mark, okay? It's how good or how bad you do in a test. When a person is evaluated, that person gets a grade, gets a mark. The marks can be A, from best to worst, A, B, C, D, and an F, which is fail, which is you flunked. You need to take the test again to pass it. And it's also an action. When a teacher is correcting your test, what that person is doing, what the teacher is doing, is to grade the test. And then we write a mark, a grade on your test, saying your grade is an A. That's fantastic. Your grade is a D. You have to do better next time, okay? The second word is traded. Now, traded comes from the word trade, okay, which is a verb that means to change, okay, to change things with another person, especially when we talk about cromos, okay, they're called in English trading cards, and what you do with them is you trade them, you exchange them with a person. Oh, this one I have it twice, I have it repeated, I don't need 2 of them, let me trade it with you for another trading card that I don't have, okay? Then we have laughed, okay, which is the past with ed of the verb laugh, which is to have so much fun or to find something so fun and so entertaining that you cannot stop smiling and then making noises and laughing, okay? So that's what laughing is. When they tell you a joke, you can't stop having fun and your whole body shows it. That's to laugh, okay? And the past will be laughed. And finally, we have station, which is the place where you go if you need to travel by train or bus. I'm going to the bus station. I'm going to the train station, okay? Now, let's talk about traded and laughed, all right? Traded is a verb that ends on D and E. So only when a verb ends on D and E, or just D, or T, or TE, am I going to say traded, okay? So if you see, in the present is trade, just 1 syllable. In the past is traded, 2 syllables. And that's the only time, only when the verbs end on D or T or DE and TE am I going to say another syllable. Only then. And if we apply that to the next verb, laughed, okay, I'm never going to say laughed, okay? I'm going to try to say after the form of the verb in the present, I'm just going to pronounce a T or a D, okay? And laugh in the past, let's try with a T, laughed. Let's try with a D, laughed. It's very difficult to say with a D, laughed. So the natural way in this one is to use the T, laughed, okay? So try with both of them, but never say another syllable, never say laugh it, okay, because that's wrong. Now is the perfect time to pause the video, re-watch the explanation because maybe I was going too fast, or pause the video at any time. Don't just continue with the video if you don't understand something. Pause it and re-watch it again. Also, get the subtitles. It will help you to understand more things, okay? The second activity, you know how it works. You have to try the the letters in the box and try to figure out which one is the mystery letter for the 3 words on each of the lines. And remember, you can only use each letter once, and in the same line all the words have the same letter. So try them. You can do this by yourself. The next one, the ABC order activity number 3, is where you have to organize and order all these words in alphabetical order. So you know how to do that. You can do it on your own. Remember, we're looking at the first letter, okay? And if we have some words that start with the same letter, we need to move on to the second letter and compare it and see which one would go first in a dictionary, okay? And then you write the number of the order for each word. Now, activity number 4, we have to copy the chart in your notebook and complete it with 3 more examples from the spelling words. We have verbs in the present form and in the past. So let's have a look at the list of words. Now, these are the obvious 3 words because they are all of them are in the past, but there's many more words here that could be verbs, okay? So I'm going to mark them and I'll explain them to you. So all these words could be verbs, okay? So mark, you would grade and mask, you put on a mask, you mask yourself, okay? Race, we talked about that one. Track is to follow someone. Remember, we said that is a pista de atletismo, for example. So when you track someone, you follow them and try to find everything about them. That's what detectives do. They track people. Then we have stamp, again, when you put a stamp on an envelope or you put a seal, un sello, but not one of those to send a letter, but un sello to sign something under it, you stamp it, okay? Also, stage is another, could be a verb too. Graph could be a verb too. And also, which one is that one? Great. Okay, we talked about that one. So you can use any of those verbs and put the past form in the chart. Let's have a look now at activity number 5, editing. Okay, we have to find out the mistakes. The number of mistakes on each sentence is at the end of the sentence. There's 3 mistakes on the first one, 2 mistakes on the second one, and 3 mistakes on the third one. Now these are the problems on each of the sentences. So pause the video and think about why are those the problems, and we'll talk about it in a second. Okay, so let's have a look at the first one. Jill is not me, and that's not you, it's another person. It's the third person singular, so I am not going to use don't. I'm going to use doesn't. Alright, and why is magical with a capital letter? It's not a proper noun, it's not the name of a country or a city or a person, so it doesn't have to be in capital letters, so there should be a lower M, okay? And why is it a question? It's an affirmative sentence. Jill doesn't have a magical wand. And a magical wand is what these characters in Harry Potter movie are using.
Wingardium Leviosa. Stop. You're going to take someone's eye out. Besides, you're saying it wrong. It's Leviosa, not Leviosa.
You do it then if you're so clever.
Go on.
Wingardium Leviosa.
Wingardium Leviosa.
let's continue with sentence B. Does you like wearing a mask? Okay, now we're talking about you, so it's not he, she, or it. So it's not going to be does, it's going to be do. All right, and if I look at the word wearing, I can see there's no G at the end, and we need a G there. Okay, so we added the G at the end of wearing. Those are our two mistakes. Sentence C, very easy, the first mistake. We always start a sentence with a capital letter. The second mistake is weekend. It should either have a hyphen in the middle, a little line, or go together, okay? But we don't normally write it separate. And here, because I know it's next week, it's a future, I'm going to say next week we are going, next week we are going to go, we're going to visit our friends, or we will go to visit our friends. So one, the capital letter, the hyphen, or putting together weekend, and then using the two different options for the plural form of the verb to go. On activity 6, remember you have to read the text and find which is the word that is a spelling word for the week, and figure out, see if it's correct or incorrect, okay? And if it's incorrect, write it properly, okay? All right, so let's read the text together. Patrick tried on the mask with his Halloween costume. He looked great. I wrapped a birthday present for my friend. And it's not I sang, I rap. It's I wrapped. Alan has a good chance of winning the race. What grade did Mary get on the math test? They are teaching his son about internet safety. When Susie told us a joke, I laughed for a long time. I have a doctor's appointment at 8 in the morning. The last activity is a word search activity where you have to find the words down, all the way down, or across, or diagonally. There's no words going back diagonally, okay? So again, I show you some of them. We have mask going down, we have batch going diagonally, we have laugh going across, but be careful because you may think you found some like chance, but it's not written properly, it's not here. Same with safety. You have to find these words somewhere else because they're misspelled. They don't have the correct spelling. Good luck. Well, as I said at the beginning of the video, take your time, pause the video anytime you need to re-watch and to understand as much as you can so that it can help you to do the activities. If you can print them, if you have a printer at home, do print it. It will be easier for you to do the word search. And if not, you can copy the activities in your notebook. And that is all for today. So goodbye, I'll see you tomorrow, and have a good day.